Hey guys, and welcome to Cooking with Remy. Let's get cooking. If you guys have watched my videos at all throughout the past decade that I've been doing YouTube, then you know that Hawaii is my favorite place in the world. So as you're watching this video, I'm currently in Hawaii, sitting on a sandy beach, Mai Tai in hand, soaking up the sun, getting tan, reading my Kindle, and enjoying life. So while I'm gone, I figured to keep you guys fed, I would do a Cooking with Remy episode, Hawaiian foods, my favorite Hawaiian foods ever. Let me just start off by saying this is not authentic, obviously, but as we know, I love Hawaii, I love Hawaiian culture, I love Hawaiian food, and I can't get it all the time, so I figured out some recipes that I like to make at home to have it here when I'm not there. So on the menu today, we have one of my favorite combinations in the world. We are making a pog smoothie. If you've never tried pog juice, it's passion orange guava, and it is the most delicious thing you will ever put into your mouth. Then we have an island favorite, LOCO MOCO. It's basically rice with a beef patty, a sunny side of egg, and some delicious brown gravy. You pretty much can't go wrong with this at all. Then we have spam MUSUBI, which is the perfect little snack. If you are going to the beach, you can pack it in your bag, enjoy it on the sand. It's just the perfect on-the-go little snack. And last but not least, we have one of my favorites that I actually discovered while on one of my trips to Hawaii, and that is poke nachos. All right, so I'm hungry and I am ready, so let's get cooking. All right, we are beginning with the easiest one by far. We are making our pog smoothie, or passion orange guava. The first thing that I do when I touch down off the airplane in Hawaii is I grab a can of the Hawaiian Sun pog juice because it is delicious. I want it coursing through my veins. So we're elevating that a bit here and making it into a smoothie. So I have a blender here with some ice, about a cup of ice or so, but you can do as much as you want depending on how icy you like your smoothies. And then of course for the passion, we have passion fruit juice. I love passion fruit juice. I'm gonna do a cup of this. Woo! It's spilled, it's spilled, it's spilled. All right, 1 cup of this. Oh, it smells so good. A cup of orange juice. This is fresh squeezed orange juice. Ah, jeez! A cup of orange juice. We're gonna do 1 can of juice concentrate. This is the orange one from Minute Maid. My mom loved this stuff when I was a kid. I haven't seen it in so long, but it adds like a delicious sweet iciness to your smoothie. We're just gonna take this and dump it in. Ooh, yummy. That's good. Ooh, it's sour. Then we're gonna do 1 can of guava juice, or 11.5 fluid ounces, whatever you wanna use. This is Kern's, but I wish we had Hawaiian Sun here. We just don't. But use what you have, pour her in. Guava juice is by far my favorite juice to ever exist. And then last but not least, as I said, love the guava flavor. You do not have to get this if you don't want. It is a little harder to find, but it's guava puree syrup, so it makes things just sweeter and more guava flavored. I'm just gonna do about 3 tablespoons. Now we blend. Now I'm slowly gonna add in more ice and keep blending until it becomes the desired thickness that I want. Our smoothie is blended. I'm going to pour mine into a pineapple, obviously, but if you want, you can put it in a coconut or a regular cup, whatever you'd like. And we're gonna pour her in. Oh my God, that looks so good. Top it off with some little umbrellas and a straw and the pineapple top, and you are good to go. All right, guys, this is our pog smoothie. Time to taste test. It's so good. Literally tastes like I'm on a tropical vacation, which I am. Let's move on. Moving on, we have LOCO MOCO. My personal favorite place to get this on the island of Oahu is at Rainbow Drive-In, but we cannot go right now, so we're gonna make this at home. We first have a pack of ground beef. This is 80-20 ground beef, so there's nice fattiness to the meat, which adds more flavor. Also behind me, I have 2 large saucepans over medium-high heat. One we're gonna use to cook the meat, the other we're gonna use to grill onions because onions add so much flavor to this dish. To the actual meat, I'm gonna add in half of a finely diced sweet onion. We're using sweet onions all today because they are delicious and add some nice flavor to everything. I also have 3 cloves of minced garlic. Super simple, we're just gonna do salt. I gotta get a quieter salt grinder. Pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. Then we're gonna mix this all together and form this into 4 patties. Also, if you wanna make these vegan, of course you can use like a Impossible meat or a Beyond Burger. I promise it'll taste just as good. Also, your patties do not have to be perfect by any means. That's kind of the beauty of this dish. It can look a little craggly, have some nice crispy edges, just to add some more crunch. All right, now to cook them, this goes really quickly. We're just gonna put some avocado oil into our skillet and then put the patties on. It's that simple. Wait for the sizzle. Ooh. And we're gonna cook these until they're golden brown and then flip them over about 3 to 4 minutes per side. While our patties are cooking, I'm gonna move over to this pan and we're gonna grill our onions. I have 4 tablespoons of butter. Just melt it down. We have 1 finely sliced sweet onion. I'm going to just throw this in. We're gonna drop the heat down to low and then cook these low and slow for about 20 minutes or until they're nice and brown all the way through and sweet. So we cooked the meat, I pulled it out and it's now resting. I cleaned out this pan and now I'm going to add in 4 tablespoons of butter. We're now gonna work on making the roux for our gravy. Roux is spelled R-O-U-X, and this is basically what is going to thicken our gravy and make it really nice and luscious. So we're just gonna melt this down over low heat. Once the butter's fully melted down, we're gonna sprinkle in our flour, and this is going to act as the thickening agent. Go in little bits at a time and just keep mixing to get all the clumps out. If you don't wanna make homemade gravy, you can also totally just use a packet. It's still delicious, but this just adds an extra level of luxuriousness to the dish. Now we're gonna add in our seasonings. I'm gonna do about a tablespoon of chicken bouillon. You can use beef bouillon, vegetable bouillon, whatever you'd like, but I love chicken. 2 cloves of garlic, freshly minced. Salt and pepper. And then you guys know me, always a little onion powder, a little garlic powder, just a smidge. Stir that all to combine. Now that all of this has come together, we're going to slowly add in our beef stock, just little by little, mixing it around until it's nice and fully incorporated. I'm starting with a cup. We're gonna work our way up. That rhymed. And depending if you like thicker or thinner gravy, you can add more or less stock, but we're gonna start with a cup. And now I'm gonna kick the heat up and bring this to a boil and then reduce to a simmer. All right, so I brought our gravy to a boil, reduced to a simmer, and let it simmer for about 5 minutes or so. And this is my perfect gravy consistency. It's like the most rich gravy you will ever have. To assemble, we have our packed bowl of rice. I am gonna show you a little fun trick with this. To serve, I like to do it in a shallow bowl plate like this because the gravy can all sit nicely in here. We're gonna take our packed rice, put our plate right on top in the center, flip it over, give it a good little pat, pat, pat till it releases, pull off, and you have a perfect little rice plate. Now to add the patties, you can do a single one if you're not that hungry, or 2 if you're really hungry. I am very hungry today, so I'm gonna do 2 patties on mine. And then each patty gets topped with a sunny side up egg. The yolk adds so much richness and deliciousness to this. Then we add the gravy. And last but not least, we're gonna top with some fresh green onions. Oh, that looks so good. We're gonna do a little fresh cracked black pepper. And for the finishing touch, we have our onions here, which have like a delicious crispness to them. I'm just gonna add a little bit right on the top right here. All right, guys, this is our finished LOCO MOCO. Just to remind you again, it is not authentic, but I promise it is still delicious. So I hope you enjoy it. Moving on to one of my absolute favorite snacks in the world, that is Spam MUSUBI. You can grab these at 7-Eleven when you go to Hawaii and eat them on the beach. You can eat them in the car, wherever you want. They're so delicious and so easy to take on the go. Also, it incorporates one of my favorite ingredients to ever exist, Spam. If you've never tried Spam, don't knock it till you try it. This is a big ingredient in a lot of Korean cooking and a lot of Asian cooking in general. It is so delicious, especially when you get it nice and crispy, which is what we're gonna do today. So we're gonna start by prepping our seaweed or our nori sheets. I'm just going to cut this open, and I'm simply doing this right now because our cutting board is clean and I want it to stay nice and dry and crispy before we roll it up. So here is our nori sheets. These are Japanese nori sheets, or what they use for sushi. With our seaweed, we can either cut them into halves or into thirds, depending on how much seaweed you want in your musubis, or if you're making like a bunch of them and you want to just have more, you can do thirds. But since I'm only making a few today, I'm gonna just cut them in half. Oh, that crispity crunchity, yeah. Now we're gonna take God's greatest gift to earth, and that is Spam. Ooh. We're gonna take our Spam, you just plop it out. Listen to this delicious noise. Oh, that's the sound. I'm just gonna cut this into 1/4-inch thick slices. Now that our Spam is sliced, that is a mouthful, I'm gonna cook these over medium heat behind me on a saucepan. You don't need any extra oil or anything because these are very fatty and the fat is gonna come out, crisp them up, and it's gonna be delicious. Ooh, listen for that sizzle. Just let them get nice and crispy in their own fat. While our Spam cooks, I'm gonna work on the glaze. I have here soy sauce and sugar, and I'm simply gonna mix these together. That's all that you need for the glaze, and it adds so much flavor to the whole dish. I'm just gonna cook the Spam for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side, and then we will add the glaze on. Then we're like pretty much almost done. It's that simple. All right, guys, the last big step to making this is just prepping your rice. I just made my rice in my rice cooker, and then I added in a couple tablespoons of rice vinegar. This is not only gonna season the rice, but it makes it also nice and sticky, so everything will just hold for our musubis. Now to assemble, we're gonna take our nori sheet, place it down. Today to make my musubi, I'm using this little mold that I got from Amazon, which I will link down below for you guys if you want. It just makes things a little easier, but if you don't want to buy this, the Spam can also makes a really good musubi mold if you want to use this as well. We're gonna take our mold and place it about an inch down from the edge of the seaweed and fill it in with our rice. Whenever I make or eat Spam musubi, I think about the song that Anuhea sings on YouTube. I'll link it down below. Then we're gonna pat down so it's nice and packed. There we go, looks good. We're gonna top with some furikake, which is a rice seasoning mix. There's like toasted sesame seeds, more nori in here. Oh, it looks so yummy. Place one of our little Spam pieces in here. I'm gonna use a little water to put it on the edge to help us seal. And then we're just gonna start rolling. Just fold up the sides, roll, roll, roll. She is hot and ready, and boom. Perfect Spam musubi. Wit's mouth is gaping. She is shocked.
That's so good.
So good. And then, best of all, we can slice it right down the center. Perfect. Easy to take on the go. Last but not least, I'm gonna teach you guys how to make these amazing poke nachos. If you guys keep up with the Cooking with Remi website, then you would know that these have been on the website for a very long time. In case you didn't know, we are always putting new recipes on the website, even if they're not in a Cooking with Remi episode, just to keep you guys updated and keep you with fresh recipes. Check it out if you haven't already. Why I chose to make these today is this is one of my favorite dishes that I've ever tried in my like 15 trips to Oahu. I remember it was my high school graduation trip and we went to the Moana Surfrider Hotel in Waikiki and we had these amazing poke nachos and they still have them on the menu today and they are so good. I already prepped and made it all for you guys because it literally takes like 10 minutes, so this is how you do it. So for our chip base, instead of using tortilla chips like regular nachos, we're gonna make wonton chips. How you do this is you just take wonton wrappers. I like to use the square ones, but you can also use the round ones if you'd like. Slice them in half and then fry them in some oil at 350 degrees. They cook in like 1 to 2 minutes. It is so quick. After they're nice and golden brown, all you have to do is just top them with all your toppings. All right, so our wonton chips are all nice and laid out. They look crispy and delicious. And then we're gonna start with our toppings. I have here sashimi grade salmon and tuna. You can use whatever you'd like though, but I love this mix and I love the color that it adds. Also, please make sure if you're gonna eat it raw that your fish is sushi grade. We don't want anyone getting sick over here. We're just gonna load them on top. Then we're gonna go on with masago, which are little orange fish eggs, and they are just little like delicious popping boba balls almost. And just put a little bit on for color. Now for sauces, we're gonna use sriracha mayo. You can make your own by mixing Japanese mayo and sriracha if you'd like, but I have this pre-made one that is delicious, so I'm just gonna use this, and I like a lot, so we're just gonna drizzle, 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 drizzle. Then for sweetness, we're gonna add some eel sauce. Again, this is pre-packaged. You can make your own if you'd like, but it's just really nice and easy. And I like to go in the opposite direction with my squiggles now. This adds really nice sweetness in juxtaposition to that spicy mayo. Beautiful. To add some more flavor, a little sprinkling of our furikake right on top. Beautiful. And then last but not least, for some color and a little zinginess, some beautifully thinly sliced green onions. And there we have our poke nachos. So guys, these are our poke nachos, and that was this episode of Cooking with Remi. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Again, all recipes will be on cookingwithremi.com. Be sure to check out my vlog channel if you guys haven't already. If you want to see Hawaii vlogs, youtube.com/remlife, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!